What's good, y'all? It's your boy Mixtape Marv, and today I'm gonna hit y'all with my thoughts on this new Jeezy and DJ Drama album titled Snowfall. So we know that Jeezy, the Snowman, Mr. 17.5, is a trap music icon and true motivator of the streets. His whole movement started back in 2004 with the legendary DJ Drama. Now, almost 2 decades later, the two reconnect for this new Gangsta Grillz mixtape. It is Jeezy's first full-length release since the Recession 2 back in 2020, an album that I enjoyed even though it was looked at as his most mature and thoughtful to date. However, it seemed like a lot of fans wanted a return to the thug motivation, trap or die era Jeezy, and that's just what Drama and Jeezy attempted to give them with this new release. Oftentimes, artists get criticized when they don't show growth, but in Jeezy's case, it seems like a lot of his core fans just wanted the trap star, young Jeezy, the guy who once said 2 grand flat will get you 4 and a baby. But this project contains 17 songs lasting approximately 48 minutes. The only features are Lil Durk, 42 Doug, and ESTG. The bulk of the production was handled by Justice League, who contributed 9 songs, while the remaining were produced by D Rich, Cool and Dre, Don Cannon, and Helliva. But with that being said, let me go ahead and just hit y'all with this track-by-track breakdown. The opener, Snowfall, has victorious horns courtesy of Cool and Dre. Now we know Jeezy's intros have a reputation for being epic, and this one is no different. It just motivates you to want to go out there and get it with that billionaire mindset. Drama brings the first few bars back about 3 times to build the momentum. Jeezy raps, "Can't lie, it's been a rocky road. Dude, I've been busy like the chef on Windy Hills at the Papados. Still grinding like it's pots and O's. On Mafia Coast, tell Solo, hit my line when the deal was closed." He also brags about having more songs with Jay-Z than Biggie Smalls, which at first seemed like a cool flex, but after I thought about it, I'm not sure what he was getting at. I mean, since Biggie's life was tragically cut short, it would only make sense that, Jeezy would have a better chance of having more songs with Hov. Track 2, Bruh, has an anthem-like trap beat from D Rich that is glorious. Hearing Jeezy's energy over these horns instantly takes me back to the Jeezy of the mid to late 2000s. Overall, it's a banger, plain and simple. Then track 3, Most Hated with Lil Durk, has rowdy horns and ghostly harmonies. It's fiery production that will likely inspire you to go hard in the gym. On this one, Jeezy talks about embracing being the most hated, kind of like Nas and Puff back in the 90s. But Lil Durk ended up having this standout feature. He has some chilling lines like, "Dudes be asking what happened to Virgil. Like, dude, what happened to 2 of your mans? Bro beat a body. He looked me right in the eyes and he told me he'll do it again." I do like when Durk rhymes aggressively without the auto-crooning, but this one is an eerie trap anthem for the fall weather. Track 5, Street Cred, finds Jeezy rapping hard over a more nocturnal and mellower beat from Don Cannon. The production is very crisp. And this one's all about how his street credibility has equity. He talks about his evolution from the corner to the corporate world and how none of it was truly possible without his street cred. But at the same time, he's wise enough not to risk it all trying to prove something to losers who have nothing to lose. So he raps, "I ain't tripping on the bullshit. I'm trying to buy a jet." Then we return to the vibrant horns again on the track Colors. I like this frenetic trap beat and the celebratory horns. Here, he does some flexing while dropping the names of colors. It's not the craziest lyrically, but I do like it for the vibe and the production. Afterwards is MJ Jeezy, where Jeezy compares his own impressive run to that of the legendary Michael Jackson, and Drama declares himself as Quincy Drama Jones. But this is set to a smooth and atmospheric beat from Justice League. It's very polished, but it also has that slick late night feel. Jeezy raps, "Drop thug motivation, he's the #1 thug, icon shit, heard he whip it with 1 glove." Next is Plug on Him, which has an icy synth layer beat that would be something smooth to ride to under city lights. The beat starts out softer, then builds to something more up-tempo. It's definitely one of the top beats on the project. Jeezy was going in on this one, giving us some clever coke talk and also dropping some game like undisclosed location. I don't really do the live. Y'all be doing too much. That ain't how you stay alive. And after this is I Ain't Gonna Hold You, where we get a faster paced funk beat from Helluva that was fun with a bouncy feel. On this one, Jeezy talks his talk and reminds us of his position as this trap music pioneer. It's not the craziest lyrically, but a feel-good song nonetheless. Then there is Put the Mix Down with 42 Dugg. It's a lit anthem with these synth horns that sound like they either came from a video game or a Swiss Beat sample. But 42 Dugg does deliver a dope feature as he sounds right at home over this lively beat, whereas Jeezy does his share of boasting and reflecting on still being able to count a million with his eyes closed and still being able to whip up a whole one with a blindfold. It's like Jeezy was doing his best to give Pusha T a run for his money. Track 10, King's Crown, is the only real introspective song, and it's built around a slower and ghostly instrumental. And this one finds Jeezy honoring the fallen soldiers of the streets. So even though he's chilling in houses with marble floors, this type of death and destruction makes him feel like he's back in the slum. But yeah, the tone of this record was more in step with some of the material we got from the Recession 2. The subsequent song, Still Having, has an ultra smooth and plush beat from Justice League that's as luxurious as anything Rick Ross would rhyme over. I mean, it's a solid record with a suave instrumental, but possibly my least favorite. Then the heat gets turned up again with Scarface featuring ESTG. Now, these two have not missed on their collaborations yet. They both dropped some airy street verses over this scorching beat from D Rich, who is in his bag on the production tip. The chorus goes pretty hard too, as Jeezy states, I fed the whole hood, I fed the whole town, I'm watching Scarface, and that's with no sound. Track 13 is How Deep, which has a well-used sample of Keith Sweat's How Deep Is Your Love. I mean, you can't really go wrong with this type of smooth late 80s R&B production. And Jeezy does provide some insight into how he first jumped off the porch. He reflects back to turning $20 into $1 million and having this strong family love, even though his cousin set him up and his auntie stole from him. Following this is Grammy, which is a return to the triumphant trap soul production. He really transports the listener back to his '05 days with bars like Foe and a baby, yeah, I might need a nanny. Billion gram soul, bitch, I deserve a Grammy. I mean, what is not to like about this whole aesthetic? Track 15, My Accountant, has a chilly orchestral beat that's as cinematic as any Hitchcock film, and Jeezy gives us more braggadocio about how his accountant is lit and just being this rich gangster figure. Content-wise, it is a bit repetitive, but the production slaps and his energy is great. Then the second to last song is Big Snow, where we get epic soul chops from Cool and Dre. Here, Jeezy gives himself his flowers and talks about doing it his way, like Frank Sinatra. I thought the one line directed at young Jock was a low blow though. Compare me to Pac, compare them to Jock. Damn, young Jock just can't catch a break. Yeah, Jeezy never loses over this bright, soulful production. Then the album wraps up with 100, a motivational track that is one of the main highlights. This soulful and lavish beat from D Rich is easily the best on the project, and Jeezy talks about keeping it 100. So overall, I give this album a rating of 4 mics. Throughout, Jeezy and Drama still prove that they can make quality street music nearly 2 decades later. While I'm sure that some folks may view Jeezy's subject matter as a regression here, since, you know, he's 45 making this heavy cocaine content, but he did make the kind of album that the fans wanted. So in that sense, he definitely delivered. I did find it interesting how he was able to reconnect with his trap days so effortlessly, considering that he's very far removed from those times and he's just in a different headspace altogether. But he was still able to sound hungry and inspired enough to give fans the kind of coke talk that we loved him for in the mid to late 2000s. Now, as far as his lyrics were concerned, I didn't think his writing was as sharp as what was found on, let's say, The Recession 2, but he made up for it by having multiple bangers and anthems back to back, and the whole project was really well produced from top to bottom. My favorite tracks include Snowfall, Bruh, Street Cred, Plug on Them, Put the Minks Down, Scarface, How Deep, My Accountant, Big Snow, and 100. Let me know what you thought about this album in the comment section. It's your boy Mixtape Moth. I'm signing out, but be sure to hit that like button and please subscribe. As always, it's peace and blessings. DJ Drama, Jeezy, Snowfall, 1.